So I'm back to answer Ashley's questions, and I did not forget about you if you were wondering. If I did, I've just been really, really lazy. So I'm just going to go right into this. Number one, what would Kenzie think and do if she ever found out her little brother was studying the dark arts with Beatrice? Would she try to get him to stop hanging out with her? Okay, this is gonna sound super bad. I don't actually think Kenzie cares. Like, for Kenzie, it's kind of like, are you gonna do something stupid? Like, go against the Montels, or, like Landon is. Otherwise, it's not something she would do. But I don't actually see her having a problem with it, because I think, if I remember correctly, the Montels are kind of known for dark arts. Or like that's a thing in the family, and so I think she would be okay with it as long as he's not using it against them, if that makes any sense. And no, she wouldn't try to get them to stop or anything. She's kind of an enabler, I think, when it comes to stuff like that. Like, as long as you're not doing anything that jeopardizes the relationship with the heirs and the Montels, she doesn't super care what you do with your life. Which is not a great way to be, but that's kind of how she's ending up. So yeah. Number two, if I could ship any of my characters with any of your characters, who would I ship? I liked all the travels we wrote for Lila and Maggie. So probably them. I don't really see any of our other characters being in a decent relationship at all. But if Lila and Maggie had gone differently, they definitely could have been. So that. Number three, random but story about the Stewart twins' childhood. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot for this. Morgan and I haven't talked about this super extensively. But no, I got nothing. I've sort of had canons and things for them, but for the most part, we haven't really talked about it or thought about it that much, what they were like growing up. My fan is on, if you couldn't tell. So I don't really know. If I come up with one, I'll text you, I guess. Morgan and I will have to hash that out at some point, probably. Okay. Number four, next gen, any ideas for mine? I unclaimed her face. I'm still willing to, do stuff with her, I guess. I just don't know what to do with her, necessarily. But, she is Gemma and Miles' daughter. She's adopted, so I didn't have a whole lot of connections for her besides her cousin, Ainsley. And that was kind of why I didn't want to make her in the first place. It's like I didn't have anywhere to go with her, and I can't get Luna to make Mile again. So now I just have an account that's sitting there. So it'll be Morgan until I come up with a better idea, I guess. I have an idea, but it requires making that account an adult, which I can't do right now. So, but yeah, I just didn't have a whole lot of ideas for her. Like, I know who she is as a person, but I don't really know how she would interact with anybody, and I don't know, felt like I was just kind of, can I join? Like, it felt like I was just, being that annoying little whoever. So, but I kept her face, because I really like Olivia's face, and I didn't want to totally lose that. So she's Mandy now, and I actually, interestingly enough, can separate the two of them in my head. Olivia Munn she's definitely Morgan, but she's also definitely Mandy, and so that's a whole thing for me. But yeah, not so much on the ideas. Which probably would have been the same answer even if I hadn't just shelved her. I might throw her in the game sometime and see what happens, but excuse me. And number five, how does Leigh feel about her friend being senior undersecretary? Do you think she helped with her campaign at all? I don't think she helped. Again, this sounds really bad, but Demi was also running. I mean, she was running for minister, obviously. But Leigh is not super political, which is interesting to me because she thinks of the Order as a political organization as opposed to I don't know what else. I don't know how else you would categorize them, but like that's kind of how she sees the whole blood purity thing, is it's politics. But she doesn't She doesn't like to get involved. She'll vote. That's about it. Pretty sure she voted for Demi. I think she voted for Danielle. But she wouldn't have wanted to feel like she was between the two of them or something. I think she's okay with it. I don't think it bothers her either way that Danielle is the senior undersecretary. I think, she just kind of, she's known a couple of others. She knew Micah. She knew somebody else, but I don't remember who. But yeah, I don't really think that it's a big deal to her. I mean, yeah, she's not super like that. She's always been kind of my super down-to-earth girl. Like, even with Quidditch, she's supposed to be this super famous, world famous Quidditch star, and she's like fan service to the max. So I don't really think that it changes her perspective, her feelings. Good for Danielle. She did what she wanted to do, and she hopes it works out for the best, and will be there with tea if it doesn't. Pretty much, that's how that goes. But she definitely did not help with the campaign at the time, and still, she is recovering from being kidnapped, not remembering being kidnapped, and the aftermath of all of that, and kind of relearning how to live her life. So I don't think she had enough mental energy to help anybody with anything in that regard. So yeah, I didn't forget about you, I swear. Okay, I'm gonna end this now. I sound like a smoker.